Something happened on my this other channel that I do where I'll do like mundane updates on what I'm publishing next or what's going on in my mundane life. That has me pretty much starting to get away from YouTube. I had heard about the censorship that other channels were experiencing and had been concerned, but the fact is that YouTube is a private entity, and that means that if they choose to prohibit something off their website, they're not practicing censorship. Censorship is a deal with the government. So then it happened to me. Sometimes I do reviews, mundane, normal reviews, review of a meal, review of a book, not like reviews of books here, but just mundane life. And I had had a run-in with a bad hairdresser who blew me off during an insomnia spell, so that she made the appointment with me in person with people to watch her, and then waited until I got there to tell me she could not do my hair the next day after I had literally tossed and turned 8+ hours trying to get some sleep so that I could be aware for her and not get in a car wreck getting to her. By the way, I almost got into a car wreck. And I had a very important dig in like 2 days. I needed my hair done immediately. It was a simple root job, something that other hairdressers have done no problem for years, that I have even done myself for years. There were just a lot of things that she did that were clear mishandling of her customer. And so my review on her was a 1 star out of 5. I have talked to a lot of hairdressers since, in person. We've discussed methods, styles. I've known hairdressers in person. It isn't like I just walked out of the door one day and said, I think I'll go to a hairdresser for the first time in my life that day, to not know what I was reviewing. And I was mostly giving her the 1 star based on her very shitty-ass poor customer service, because she left me going in circles, literally going from neighboring town to neighboring town, looking for someone who was willing to do my hair at the last second because I didn't have time to make an appointment as per proper. Luckily, I found someone, and he was very nice, and I ended up giving him a 5 star. Now, the drama from this 1 star was over the top. We had people claiming to be hairdressers coming in and reaming me, thousands of people, because I gave this person a 1 star. They did not care that I had been mistreated as a customer, because apparently my friend in California tells me that a lot of hairdressers actually have signs in their windows, we have the right to refuse service, which is fine. Yes, you have the right to refuse service. But if you do poor customer service in the process, I have the right to give you, a bad review based on your service. And at first it bothered me, and then I realized, what the fuck? YouTube is basically the new Reddit. What am I worried for? So you know what I did? I monetized the review and then put up a couple more videos, making it clear that they could be just as caustic as they wanted. But I was monetizing it, so cha-ching. So then I just turned off comments. So people that are still putting negative comments on that review, because, they're more concerned with defending their own than they are the fact of listening to a customer and why the customer left 1 star. Okay. Which, by the way, that's actually good for any of you that are looking for a hairdresser and need to know who not to go to, because you can just look at all those comments and go down the list and know who's got too bad of an attitude, because those people going down the list that are being negative are probably the same kind that will ruin your hair and then argue with you when you want your money back. So, I mean, they're actually doing the world a favor by attacking me if you look at it that way. But anyway, the point is, I moved on. I mean, negative attacks on YouTube are common. YouTube is just completely infused with hateful people these days. That's fine, whatever. I have, whatever. So then YouTube, they turned off my monetization and suppressed my videos. They actually announced it to me. Like other people who are being suppressed, they have to look at the analytics to figure out what's going on. They actually sent me a notice to tell me that my content was inappropriate for viewers and they were removing it from the search function. And that really bothered me a lot. I admit, I put up a rant to start with that most of the people who are being negative at me never have seen, as far as I know, unless somebody downloaded it and said, hey, look at this. The rant was meant to be funny. Yeah, and it was over the top, and I was angry, and I realized, this isn't, So I took it down because it was just not good. I took it down before the explosion really exploded. So the point is, YouTube suppressed my videos and pretty much, censored me based on everybody else's reaction. Now, I know that it's really hard to police thousands of negative people, but one thing that a lot of people are pointing out is that YouTube is really, really backing these people's philosophy. There is absolutely no responsibility for your actions, and you're going to blame the person that they're attacking instead. Because heaven forbid. So I felt like, you know what, this is BS. So I looked at the white commentaries, and I'm like, you know what, I don't even. So I'm moving here. It's not like it has like thousands of followers that, they're going to miss me. It's got like 46. So I'm moving. So I'm going to be moving the bulk of what I do over to PewTube, and I'll put the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will put the link in the description. But really, it doesn't matter. People, you need to remember that YouTube is a private entity. Unlike health insurance, you are not forced to watch it. Yes, it's got a lot of great content, but you can give other places great content, and you can show YouTube what American competition and how the American system is supposed to work by voting, in the direction of going to someplace a bit more friendly. The events recently with the terrible massacre in Las Vegas, and then most recently the terrorist attack in Manhattan. On top of all of the racism and Antifa, and I was watching a video yesterday where somebody had recorded a white ally. He was pretty much told by a couple of brown girls that he needed to do all of the work as updated farm equipment. I mean, there's no other better way to put it. That's pretty much what they were saying. And he's like, I already do all this stuff. I already stand up for you, and I'm already there, and you're telling me that I'm not doing anything? Like, yeah, you need to get off your ass. And he's like, fuck you, and he walked off, right? And I don't blame him, and I hope he never went back, because nobody deserves to be treated that way, no matter their skin color. And they shouted after him, well, you're white, it's inherent, you're inherently racist, it's in your DNA. And they meant it. The crazy shit, they meant it. Somebody needs to teach them nature versus nurture. I don't know why, but my mind flew back to many, many years ago, high school. And it actually goes back further, because in elementary school, I had lots of friends, and then it came out that I was Indian. No, Native American Indian. And all of a sudden I didn't have any friends. So I dealt with racism my entire life, of being put down and made fun of. Oh my gosh, the things I went through. So in class, we'd do things like we had a mock lawmaking thing where we had to submit laws to go through the system. And I would submit something that they had all said they wanted the day before, but because it was me doing it, they said it was a stupid idea. And I got that a lot. I don't even know why I kept trying, to be honest. So then in high school, we were doing a debate thing in one of our English classes, English literature, and we were supposed to be, in groups, and we had to write on cards issues that we needed to debate. And everybody's doing, I don't remember what their issues were, and I wrote racism. Now, my class was made up of the white, uppity, having money clique, and in my hometown that was based around a plantation, rich area, you get that divide, that stupid social divide, and they were all white, and it isn't that we didn't have brown people with money, it's just this particular clique was all white. And they got my card, and they looked directly at me, so they knew who wrote it, and they said, that's a stupid idea, there is no such thing as racism, and they threw the card away. So my mind flies back to that moment many, 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 many times, especially as I watch the news. And I often think to myself, are you saying there's no racism now, honey lamb? Do you think there's no racism anymore? Now that it's you on the chopping block, now that white people are being discriminated against, now that nothing a white person does is correct, and everything a white person does is considered stupid, and they are the bad guy and the villains in the movies, and they are the ones wearing the black hats and going womp womp or whatever in the Cowboys and Indians movies. Now, do you think that racism doesn't exist anymore. And I often think about that moment, and it's kind of sad, really, that fate and karma switched places. YouTube now has my business, and I'm liking a lot of the stuff, and sometimes I just want to say to my high school class, so how does it feel? And I hope that people can stop with the crap. I'm really liking some of the moves that Trump is making lately to resolve some of it. I mean, some of it he can't. I mean, there's some of it that just cannot be resolved, and it's ridiculous to expect the president to act like some sort of god and do all these things. And there's a big system, checks and balances and things that people apparently don't completely understand anymore. Pretty mundane report. I have nothing new metaphysically to talk about. Soon, though, I have a local nearby town that I'm wanting to go investigate. Hopefully tomorrow. Cross your little claws, people. Cross your claws. So that's it. I'm gonna go now. Or something.